Bonjour, good morning, everyone, for joining us today, June the 9th, the first edition of Best of France 2021. I just take the advantage as well to introduce myself. I am with Julien Mangai. Franck is my name, the co-founder of Best of France. I'd like again to thank very much the French ambassador, Karine Rispel, for the one who had the chance to see a video just a few minutes before. To thank her very much for her opening remarks. We will have other opening remarks later on in 1 hour with the French consul, as well as with the Honorable Minister for State for Trade. For the one who are joining us, as you understand on this platform, you have access on the agenda where you can click and come back to all those events that you might have missed during the day. So feel free to go back to those events. It's very easy. Click on every previous previous videos or conferences. I will not talk any longer. I will see you after, but I would like to take advantage now to introduce you with our first conference. Florence Dusseaux, who's in France, is going to talk about the market opportunities for the plant-based food in France and Canada. So before passing on the mic to Florence, I'd like to give some few words about Florence. Florence is a French citizen. She's talking from France. Thank you very much for joining us now. With the time difference, it's still okay. She lives in France, and but her career took to Quebec for some years. That was I think 6 or 7 years ago. Since that experience, she developed a good knowledge in the vegan food industry. She has created 2 years ago Food to Vegan, which is a consultant firm, and then she helps the ones who are considering food transition. So the conference today is talking about plant-based versus vegan. For the one who are familiar with those meal plans, you might have seen some headlines in the health benefit that everybody can benefit from. There are some similarities, but there are as well some key differences. So without any further ado, I'd like to pass on the microphone and the floor to Florence for a great conference or presentation, and we'll see you right after that. Thank you. Florence, this is yours.
Thank you for this opportunity to present what I like mostly in my work is talking about food and plant-based food especially. So I'm Florence Dusseaux, creator of Vectu-Food. I will give you some input about what I do and what I did in order to talk about the Canadian market. So I'm a consulting agency for process and business development. I work on the strategy of communication and training and conferences. You have some business cases that I did. I'm exploring the Canadian market for aromatic and medicinal plants, creating a meeting in France for businesses from Quebec and France, and creating a sister company for US market in AgTech. This is the few things that I do. So this is why I'm able to draw a picture of the French and Canadian markets and the opportunity for companies who are willing to enter the plant-based evolution or revolution, as you like it. So you will see that there is a lot of common data figures that we have. The evolution is it's quite the same around the world, meaning that the plant-based food is increasing, but we have some differences on the products that are evolving on the markets, and the reason why people are transitioning, even if it tends to change with the COVID-19. But I think that we will talk about that later. So, about the economic data that we have, well, it seems that in Canada we have more vegetarians than vegans, in 9% against 5% in France. Actually, the market is more mature in Canada. France came later to this trend. We can say that it's because of the the image of the French gastronomy, French cuisine. People in Canada, 40% are willing to try new plant-based against 33 in France, which is quite the same. Well, we have big figures in Canadian dollars to the increase estimation, as well as in France. Actually, there's a big opportunities in meat alternatives. The reason are mainly the main difference is that the Canadian Food Guide in 2019 talked about protein groups, not anymore about meat, milk, and veggies on the other side, but protein groups, which is quite different in the image that you have of your food. When France is only acknowledging that vegetarian and plant-based diets are healthy. So we see that we don't have the same image of the plant-based food. You have already major players on the market, who are here for a long time now, like If Fine Foods, Garden. You have the influence of companies from the USA, like Beyond Meat, when major players in France are startups on meat alternatives and dairy substitutes, just like a yogurt, milk, etc. So the reason for transitioning, it was quite a surprise for me, because it seems that we have the same, especially among the younger generation. The first reason is environment, because we know we have the studies saying that red meat is not as good for the environment as we want it to be. It has a lot of pollution linked to it. After that, we have animal well-being, which is the second reason why, and health. And actually, it's quite the same in Canada and France. And I think that the impact of the people under 30, 35 is clearly changing the idea. I thought that in maybe 10 years ago, it was health before in Canada and animal well-being in France. So it's quite different, and I really think that the COVID-19 is the reason why it has changed. So you see that it's quite. We have things that are the same but different, and actually it gives some opportunities on both markets. For companies to develop their businesses, because the people are aware and are waiting for these products. First of all, and maybe the biggest of all, is the economic agreements that we have with Canada and France. Well, with Europe. This is quite interesting, and our ambassador talked about it sooner. So I think that you can see the video. You will have some information about it if you don't know about CETA now. Also, you can use France as the open door to Europe due to our common history. Even if it's more with the East, but we will see that we have some companies looking for the West as well, the West of Canada. And for French companies, you can use Canada as a door to North America. So we will see the new trends that we have in the food categories. First, well, we see that meat alternatives will continue to grow in France and Europe, when in the North America market it will just slow a little bit. But but in North America and Canada, we see an interest in seafood, just like plant-based tuna, which is big now. All the flavors around seafood, like crab, fish eggs, etc. And you can see that these changes in the ingredients as well. Actually, North America, I think, is more adventurous. The companies are more adventurous. You use cauliflower to do some chicken-like products, avocados for ice creams, etc. Maybe it's the proximity of some ingredients that you have with South America that help to be innovative with these ingredients. But in France, we tend to use our resources due to consumer demand. We have a lot of alternatives developed around wheat, corn, and pea as well. You have two graphs here. One in English about the plant-based protein in Canada, with all the areas of production, and where are the innovation. So protein sources, protein extraction, formulation and processing, marketing and distribution. It is said that in a study, it is said that Canadians think that the retailers can help them to transition to plant-based by doing the so-called coupons that they send every week or every 2 other weeks. What is giving this importance of the plant-based protein is the population growth, of course, but also the environment issues, like we said before, and health. On the other side, you have the French graph showing that the milk substitutes are just a slow development, but still increasing, of course. But the opportunity seems to be in the meat substitutes. And you have some other figures in the rest of the world for your information. And our companies in France are looking forward to work with the Canadian market and to share the opportunities. Just like Rocket, which is the major pea producer in France and in the world, they give the peas to Beyond Meat, companies like that. So this is very important in creation that we have in Manitoba here. So where the peas are grown in Canada. And now we can see that the consumers' issues are not the same, because when in Canada we think about the people who want more plant-based food, they think about healthy food first. Well, substitutes are already designed to fit consumers' needs. When I came to Canada last 3 years ago, I was amazed to see that all the meat substitute and milk substitutes were enriched with iron, zinc, the so-called B12 vitamins. Maybe it's because in North America, they know the issues about currencies that we don't have yet in France, or we don't want to see it right now. The second thing that is big is the taste, and companies who are ready to work on innovation with taste, finding new ingredients to fake meat, chicken, seafood, and beef will be the kings for sure, because people want to reduce their meat consumption, but they don't want to sacrifice the taste. And even if for the moment it's just a transition, I think that in the future it will be no more substitute, but a real gastronomy that will come to us, but not for now, not before 10 years maybe. And of course, consumers want bigger choice. They want to find more and more food, plant-based food. Well, we talked about the meat, the seafood, but you have ice creams, you have all the cakes, processed, the sweets, etc. Every branches of food industry is impacted by the plant-based transition. But it's also the same in France. But well, when we have it's a new thing that we have now in France. We want that these products, meat substitute, meat alternatives, with ingredients made in France, less processed food, and no GMO. This is something very big now because we have many hygiene scandals with mixed products in the food. So it's a real trend now among consumers. Well, we want to find products in every supermarket as well, because for the moment, all the innovative plant-based food can be found in the big cities such as Paris, Bordeaux, Rouen, Lille, but we don't have everything. Well, I'm from the countryside, so I can talk about it. When I came to Canada, I could find a tofu package in every small markets or 24/7 groceries. Consumers will also to match the standards of French gastronomy. And this is why I wrote, they don't want to be forced to consume plant-based products, because we have a huge image of our gastronomy. We are very proud of the French gastronomy, and people think that if we go plant-based, we will lose those standards, which is not real, because, well, like I used to say, a new gastronomy has to be invented. So let's find something that we can grow together, actually. And of course, the taste. Especially once again, the young generation that don't want to sacrifice the taste, just like in other population. They want to reduce, but not sacrifice the taste. This is a key issue. When I accompany companies to foreign markets, I used to say, I'm always say that you have to be supported by local contacts. It's very important in order to understand the market, that it's changing very fast. And 1 year people will want something, and the other year it will be completely different. Things are moving fast. And when I first came to Canada to build a sister company, everybody told me, get a lawyer, first thing, which I did, and grow your network in Canada and be helped by people. This this is something that I did, and I'm proud to say that you go quicker, and you can do the same with the French market. We have the example of Copper Branch, which is a Canadian restaurant chain. They sold the franchise to a French company because after 1 year, it was very difficult to develop more restaurants when in Canada, Copper Branch is a huge success. But it's a success in France. But it was not that easy to make people come to a restaurant which is supposed to be healthy, plant-based. It was not matching at the time with the French market. It's quite the same for example, Beyond Meat, because it's a huge success everywhere around the world. But in France, we don't have this. It's not the craziness of it. And the first thing, it's because when they started to sell in the European market, they sent frozen food from the US, and people don't like that. Now they are building a factory in Europe. We can understand that they wanted to test the market, but for sure now the bad is done, like I would say, the bad thing is done, because French startup has started to invade the market, and I think that it would be hard to come to the same level for this company. Maybe if they have some more innovative products, but the future will tell us. It's also the same, for example, for Impossible Foods, which they don't have the agreement yet to sell in Europe, because one of their ingredients is derived from GMO. Soy GMO, so it's not possible to sell in Europe. So I really stress the point to be supported by local contacts. You can see with your chamber of commerce or consulting agency. I'm not talking about me especially, but you see, it's very important because really the market is moving very, very fast, and the younger generation, they want things to happen fast, and they want it. They really want it now. We also can see the example with Burger King. They make a veggie burger, which is for vegetarian, but this is not what the people want. They want a vegan, plant-based burger. So we have quite the issues, which were the same in the US, the same in the UK, and I think it was quite a mess in the Canada as well, because it's not even vegetarian, because it's cooked on the same plate as the real meat. So you have to think your strategy about it. And I think that will be that's it for me. Thank you for listening. I will make a huge file about Canadian market and French market in English in a few days that I can send to you. Do not hesitate to send me an email or get contact through the platform. I will be happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Florence. Sorry, I don't have any sound back to me. Thanks very much, Florence. It's now time for any questions or comments. I forgot to mention that, but during the presentation, you have access on the chat and questions and comments. I've noticed a couple of comments. The first one, I have actually questions as well. From Brahim Zari. Thanks very much for joining us. Brahim is working at the French Embassy in Ottawa, sorry, and he was raising to our attention that there are good examples in Manitoba that I know he knows because he studied there years ago, and that is about rocket investments. That is a good and great example of what French can do in terms of plant-based. And then as well as Bell Canada, for the one who knows, not Bell, the phone company, but Bell like Boursin and the Babybel and so on. They have as well new plant-based cheese in the Canadian market. So those are some information you want to keep in mind for all the people who are listening to us. You will see as well on this chat live discussion box opens on your screen some information that you might be willing to have access to and to feed your thoughts about that. Manuela, who's part of Best of Friends, she just shared with us the vegan statistics, and that those statistics coming from the website statista.com, which is a very reliable source of information. And then you can find some very, very good information on that. Florence, I have a question. Myself, I'm into food business. I'm not only Best of Friends. I do have a small bakery chain in Vancouver, and we do see customers asking more and more about vegan and gluten-free and everything. My question is, how do you see, and it's a tough question, I understand that, but how do you see the future? What I'm saying is that do you see like chains or any food retail specialize in selling only those products and they would just grab the market? Or do you see people like us having to offer in a range of products more and more vegan or gluten-free, whatever product that we can offer to the customer? And where do you think the customer are more confident going to a place like mine where they know we serve everything, and they might have a very few selections of vegan, which is for us a good way to grab this market niche, or no more niche now, but becoming bigger and bigger? Or do you see more like a prominent and very big players just selling those products only, and then they will actually feed what the needs are for those customers? And to finish my question, I just found very interesting what you said about the Burger King, I guess you just mentioned with the veggie hamburgers, that looks like they wanted to pretend they give something that people wanted, but actually that's not what they want. So people like us, we just want to make sure that we don't miss the market. So long question, but I don't know if you have the answer, but that's very interesting for retail food business.
Yeah, actually, it's a quite a tricky question, but also this is the only question that we need to ask. If I want to be honest with you, I think that we will have both companies to develop these alternatives. So 100% vegan products by vegan owners, vegan businesses. They will have their own customer. Will not be the same as the one who go to various with traditional groceries or supermarkets. You will on your in your shops and so on. I think that if you have more and more plant-based or gluten-free alternatives, it will help you to reach the so-called flexitarians and reducerians, which are people that are reducing their meat input in their meals, or the flexitarians that are not eating meat or any animal-derived ingredients at home, but when they go to restaurants or family and so on, they can have sometimes a small amount of animal food. So I have a number that is quite recent for me. A specialist in Denmark, her name is Heather Landex. She's writing a book about safety in the food industry, and one of the point that she's making in her book is that when restaurants, shops are not dealing with the special diets, meaning allergens, plant-based, of course, all these diets, companies are losing something like 10% of 10% of the market, 10% of money they could raise for 10% of their business. So it's not it's no more a niche. 10%, who can say no to 10% of more business? Nobody, not today. So this is my answer. I think that both will grow, but the public will not be the same on both sides. And you have space for everyone. You have space for 100% vegan businesses, and the others that just want to reach people who want to simplify their life and find every food that they want in the same place. Not only on the internet, or you have to go to one shop to the other shop. Sometimes you do 5 shops. I know it happens to me, so I know you go to 5 shops to find different food, which is already something that I witnessed in Canada, which was I could go to Costco or even other markets, IGA in Quebec, and it was easy to find what I wanted. The food that I want, my heart was, oh wow, all that food, oh my god. So yeah, in Canada it's more advanced than in France, but yeah, you will see that this. I guess that it's what I want to happen, actually. Thank you for asking.
Thank you very much, Florence, for the explanation. We have again just a few minutes before we close the sessions now. I encourage everyone who has any question or what to post those on the chat. We can come back to Florence on the day, and then she can come back to you with any comments and information. I have other questions as well about the training. My question is: I come from a very traditional restaurant and hotel school, where back then, I'm talking about last century, there was no notions of anything. So my question is, I don't know how those schools are now integrating or not those different aspects in the programs. Thank you very much again. I learned new things. Flexitarian, that's a term I've never heard before. Thank you very much. Obviously, the things are changing and evolving very, very fast, and we have to make sure that we follow the trend. So, flexitarian is a new one I'm gonna to keep in mind. I'd like again to thank you very much, Florence, for your time. I wish you a good evening now. We're going to end that session now. We'll see you later on with a new presentation. And I wish you a good rest of the conference and day with us. Thank you very much for your attention. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.